Congratulations to the full class of 2024, 87.3% pass rate. Free State, of course, retaining the top spot at 91.0%, a significant increase even for them. KZN at number 2, also retaining that spot from 2023 at 89.5%, and Gauteng, the host province, at 88.4%. And also worth noting is that all 9 provinces have attained above 84%. So most certainly you're seeing an education system that is maturing. But let's take you now to Fairland Johannesburg, where we find my colleague Bongiwe Zwane.
Proud moment for many here as they listened to that announcement by the minister that the class of 2023 achieved an 87.3% pass rate. There was a resounding applause here, even in the room where we are. I mean, 82.9% in 2023 to 87.3%. And people who are watching this particular picture very closely are the unions, of course, who not only represent the interests of the teachers, but are also looking at the sector and if there are any improvements. And first on the list is Dr. Ngema, the General Secretary of the National Teachers Union, who's joining us this evening. Thank you so much for your time. Firstly, your reaction to this pass rate?
Thank you very much, Bongiwe, and we want to applaud teachers. We really want to express ourselves to say, well done to the class of 2024. We praise teachers, we praise learners for the work that they've done. We are excited as National Teachers Union for the work that they've done. You know, this class would have, overcome quite a number of challenges. You will note that this class, when they entered the secondary school at grade 8, there was issue of COVID. It was at the highest level, and obviously they would have suffered, quite a lot of learning gaps, curriculum not completed on time. But they overcame all of that, and they achieved, like you said, 87.3%, a 4.4% increase from last year. Quite huge, and we are very much happy for our teachers as well as our learners.
And especially when you look at the fact that the districts have done so well as well. You look at the provinces, all provinces are above the 80% mark. It really speaks to a maturing system, as the minister said.
Very much important for our sector is stabilizing. It is maturing. What we are noting in terms of the performance of the provinces as well as your districts, higher than last year, all of them performing at 80% and above. Only 2 districts performed less than 80. But what is important for us is what we noted in terms of the increase in the pass percentage for rural as well as your township schools. Very much important, part of the sector. When you look into the resources that are allocated to those schools, they are poorly resourced, but they overcame all those challenges again, and they excelled.
Well, then finally, when you see that we still have, although it is low and it has decreased somewhat, the issue of absenteeism, how much of a concern is that for you as a union? Because it speaks to some of the children also not having enough confidence to sit for some of these exams.
As National Teachers Union, we spoke to that at the technical briefing that we had with the Director General. And we noted that indeed it has dropped, but we are not happy if there are learners who would have spent about 12 years in the system from grade 1 up to 12, but at the end of the year or end of the 12th year, they are unable to sit for the examination. And we also want to make a call to our principals out there who refuse these learners to say they should not write their examination because they fear that they may not pass and they contribute to the poor performance of the grade. We want to say these learners deserve and should be given an opportunity to sit for the examinations and prove themselves, because they've sat in the system for quite a long time, and we really want to have that rate of absenteeism at examination at grade 12 dropping to 0.
Doctor, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for talking to us. And I'm going to ask Matakanye to get closer as we have this conversation. Dr. Ngema, the General Secretary of the National Teachers Union, that's NATU, speaking about a very important issue around absenteeism, the concerns there, and the fact that some of these learners, also an issue raised by Umalusi, to say, how do you ensure that all the children who have registered, the learners who have registered to write for their exams, actually are allowed allowed to do that? Because they did express that, as Umalusi this morning, to say some of the learners that aren't allowed to write, that actually should not be happening, and it takes, their rights away, but also you wonder about their confidence. So Matekanye, thank you so much for your time. Let's start here. Your reaction to this pass rate?
We are over the moon. We are so grateful. Grateful in the sense that now these children, 2020, the start of COVID in this country. You remember that we had lot of debates that now schools must close down, and we refused. We said no, not in our name, not in our lifetime. Schools are not going to. And look what they jumped really exorbitantly. So we are really grateful that the system is maturing. And we also want to thank our teachers that they've done well. And also not forgetting our own children, that they were really seriously disciplined, doing their work, not bunking classes, coming to not fighting with teachers, listening to their teachers. And we believe that now the cohort that is coming this year must look at them, how they worked. And lastly, I don't want to forget our school governing bodies, how they allocated resources to support teachers, to support principal, and support even their children, also the community, parents. And we are saying, let's work hard.
There's a reality, though. Tonight we're celebrating this 87.3% pass rate, but there are a number of learners that did not make it. What do you say to them?
We are saying we know that it is not for the first time that people are not making it in life. This is real life. In life, we fall, but you don't fall forever. You fall, you stand up, you brush off everything, then you go back to where you start, so that you will be the best leader ever in life. If you fell, then you stood up. But we are saying again, they should not make mistakes, because at times you think that that's the end of the world. It is not the end. It's the beginning of your life. Therefore, don't make a silly mistake, like, for instance, thinking of committing suicide and all those things. Those are cowards, and God will not allow you. If God has given you 8 years, then it means that you are going to stay 8 years not knowing where you are at, because God is allocating everybody a space wherever you go. So if you have not call yourself to, then you are going to get into troubles.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. That is Matekanye there, who is the secretary there, the general secretary of the National Association of School Governing Bodies. As we're talking about, some of those who would not have made it, very difficult, especially when you think about what they're going through tonight. And someone who would say that I did not make it and I'm not a part of this 87.3%. So certainly for some of them, it's a sad moment. But as you heard, the words of encouragement: do not take your life. It is just one of those pitfalls, but do rise again. So certainly Mfundo will be in conversation with the Basic Education Minister as well, to speak to her about how she reacts to the results, but also speak to that very issue of the reality that some of the matric learners would not have made it, and what kind of support are they going to put in place, even as the department, to ensure that they don't even lose one.